We are live here with prolific, amazing filmmaker, producer, and director, Bishop Moore. We are so thankful and grateful to have you on today on this special edition of Midweek Motivation. Thank you for being here.
So happy to be here. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. So let's hop straight into this interview, shall we? So what started your interest in the entertainment and film and photography industries?
Well, my mother actually. My mom's a nurse, but she, as a hobby, she takes a lot of pictures, and there are pictures that tell stories, and moments. So every time I go back home to her house and everything, I look through the old photos that she had. And when I look through those photos, it's like, wow, it all comes back to me in a story format.
Yeah.
So from her taking pictures was the thing that she knew how to capture moments when I was younger. And moments are everything, and that's what it is basically.
Yeah. So capture those moments. And this is a moment right here we're having right now.
Yes.
So what would you consider the top 3 moments from your career?
Top 3 moments of my career. Well, I don't know if you have all the time in the world, so I'm gonna make these short. But I have one of my most amazing moments was I directed this commercial for solar panels.
Okay.
Out in San Diego.
Yeah.
And I just want to show you how this would probably sum all 3 of my moments up.
Okay.
But to show you how God works at the same time.
Yes.
And what happened in this moment was I was filming in London.
Okay.
And I was coming back from London, and I got on an early flight.
Okay.
And when I got on the flight, I was sitting in business class at the time.
Okay.
And I'm feeling myself. I'm young. I'm fly. I'm about my business.
Yeah.
I'm really I feel good.
Yeah.
And so I get to my seat, and this white gentleman.
Okay.
He had to been like maybe, I want to say 5 to 10 years older than me at the time.
Okay.
Right? So, and I don't know in this moment what God was doing, but it was an amazing moment. Wow. And I'm only telling this story because of the time that we're in right now.
Got it.
So I was the guy, he was sitting next to me. Okay. And for some reason we started off on bad terms.
Oh no.
Before we even said a word to each other, we started off on bad terms. It was all body language, right?
Yeah.
So I'm already sitting in my seat, and I'm sitting by the passenger window.
Okay.
Right, I'm sitting by the window. He's on the aisle or whatever. It's only 2 seats or whatever. So we both got our space. We can do what we want. Right. And so he gets on. He's about to sit down, and all of a sudden, like, we started to physically go at it within body language.
Oh no. Okay.
Trying to show each other who was boss. Right.
Okay.
Like, okay, I'm a young black man, but I'm doing my thing too.
Right.
We both were in business class.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he's like, well, if you're gonna act like that, then this is what I do.
No.
So I mean, and we had done all of this before the plane had taken off.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So the plane starts to take off, right? And we're going through all of these things, and by the time the plane starts to level off, the flight attendant is coming, right? And she comes up and she says, well, what do you guys want to drink this morning? Right?
Yeah.
And normally I'm the type of person that I'm free, so there's no telling what I would drink in the morning.
Right.
But this particular morning, I said orange juice. So when she turns to him and she asks him what he wants to drink,
okay,
he says orange juice. So now I know that we're both on some BS right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so we go on. The plane is in the air, and we're traveling, and I get physically tired from the body language, right?
Okay.
And so I have to break the code, right? I just say all this stupidity. I just had to break it, right? Because it just came from nowhere. And I go, "How you doing today, man? How do you feel?" Right?
Right.
And he goes, "I'm great. How are you feeling?" And I say, "I'm great," or whatever, right? And so like that broke the barrier.
Yeah.
That was never there though.
Right.
Right. And so what happens is that after we break the barrier, we start to talk about what each other done for what we done, what do we do for a living. Right. And so he asked me, he said, "Well, what do you do for a living?" I said, "I'm a filmmaker. I'm a businessman. I'm a director. I'm a cameraman. I'm a DP. I just give him everything, right? I give him the whole nine, right?"
Yes.
And he's like, "Man, that is amazing. Obviously, you have a career and you're successful at what you're doing, right?" And so I turn to him, and then I go, I said, "Well, what do you do for a living?" He says, "Well, like you, I'm a business owner."
Okay.
And I go, "Well, that's great, you know." And I said, "Well, what type of business owner?" And so he goes, "Yeah, I bought a company about maybe a year and a half ago." And he says, "It has been doing me great." And I go, "Wow." I said, "Well, what type of company is it?" And he goes, "It's a solar panel company."
Okay.
Right? And so I know a little bit about solar panels because I did the commercial, right? And so he's like, and he's raving, mind you, this guy is raving about this company, right? And as he's talking, he's like, "This company has done me such great business that it landed me a big job in London," right? Which we both was on a plane coming back from London.
Okay, yeah.
And he goes, and he's going off, he's all excited, and he was like, "Man, hold up." He was like, "I have to show you something. Just wait a minute." And he goes in his bag.
Okay.
He pulls out a DVD.
Okay.
He opens the DVD, and the DVD has my logo on it.
Wow, that's crazy.
It was the commercial I had done for the people out in San Diego who sold the company to this guy.
Wow.
And he said from my commercial, his business has been booming ever since.
Wow.
So I want to say that in a God moment, this is what happens. Sometimes we don't comprehend what's going on.
Right.
But we need visuals to be able to tell the story.
Yes. Awesome. I don't think we can go any further than that. I think we just have to end that question there.
Yes, because I mean that would be the moment that sticks out to me most out of everything.
Sure. So, what do you think are 3 of the most important documentaries in Black film history, and then films in general from Black film history?
Well, my 3 documentaries would be The Black Godfather.
Okay.
Would be 13.
Okay.
By Ava DuVernay.
Yes.
And I want to say Jordan Peele. Well, that's a movie. So I want to say I watched a documentary on James Brown.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because I was watching today George Floyd's funeral.
Yeah.
And they had Al Sharpton speaking. And in the documentary, the James Brown documentary, I found out that basically the supporter for Al Sharpton was James Brown.
Wow.
So because of what you see today,
yes,
with Al Sharpton, is because of James Brown. And I just thought it was so enlightening.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. And that would be my 3 Black documentaries, like the Black Godfather. If you guys haven't seen that by Reginald Hudlin, please check it out.
Yes. And so then 3 films, 3 Black films.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, 3 Black films. Okay. Spike Lee.
Okay.
Do the Right Thing.
Yes.
We're still talking about those same issues today.
Yes.
When they killed Radio Raheem, I got upset. I cried.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? And to this day, that's why filmmaking is so important.
Yeah.
You know, it's like what filmmakers' jobs are to do is to bring people into a world that they wouldn't normally be able to come into. That's a filmmaker's job.
Yes.
So my second film would be John Singleton, Boys in the Hood.
Yes, a very important film.
Either they don't know, don't show, or just don't care about what's going on in the hood.
Yeah.
And my third film would be something a tad bit more innovative.
Okay.
A bit more new school.
Okay.
And I would have to say it would be Jordan Peele's Get Out.
Get Out was such a good movie. Yes.
I mean, this man told a story that the way he put that story together, I wish I could have done it.
Yes, when I was like, I wish I wrote that type moments.
Yeah, it was a new form of filmmaking to me to see it come from a Black director.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. And so, what advice would you give to up and coming photographers and filmmakers who want to enter into the film industry?
I would say to always remain humble. Yeah, that would be first. You know, always treat people how you want to be treated because you never know who would be your boss tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, I would say keep your enthusiasm. Because it is a marathon. It is not a sprint.
Right.
Okay. So, and sometimes when you're dealing with other people trying to make your dreams come true and trying to make your visuals come to life, you will have people deter you from that. You know, and I've been fortunate to be one of those people that has been able to overcome those type of situations. So I would say just maintain your enthusiasm, man, because it can be tiring. It could be exhausting.
It's true. Especially in any grind worth doing, it's gonna take work.
Yes.
Any grind worth doing is gonna take work. So knowing what you know now, at this point in your career, what would you tell yourself if you could go back in time to the beginning of your career?
Knowing what I know now?
Knowing what you know now.
What I would tell myself, I would tell myself to stay enthused.
Yeah.
To stay, because it's a constant battle.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I used to ask myself, who picks this as a career?
Yeah.
It's only a certain type of people that have the drive. You got to have real drive to be in this type of industry. There's a lot of competition, you know, and I would just tell myself to what I've learned the most and what I battle with the most is to be enthused, my enthusiasm, you know, because sometimes it can, you know, it can get the best of you, you know. So keep your spirits high, and when you got things that you want to do, they're worth fighting for.
Yes, very true.
Yes, yes.
Very true. So switching back to film, what, in your opinion, are the 3 elements of a film that will make it successful? That a successful film needs to
have. A great story.
Okay.
That's number one. Like nothing goes on that screen without a script.
Yeah.
So writing is important. Have you know, just a great, have a story, man. Like something that you can bring people in.
Yeah.
You know, secondly, I would say to that is not only have a story, but have a compelling story.
Hmm.
You know, you want to you want to electrify people's minds.
Yeah.
You know, with excitement. You know, you if you have the chance to grab people, you want to grab them and hold them. You know,
Yeah.
because sometimes people need a hug. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's different types of films out there to where you can convey your message that way.
Yeah.
So be compelling if you have the
Mhm.
time to,
Yeah.
because it's very important. Your voices are important.
Mhm.
Visuals are important.
Mhm.
99% of our information comes from what we see.
Right.
So it's very important to put the right visuals out there.
Yeah.
And then thirdly, I would say talent.
Hmm.
Talent in front of the camera and talent behind the camera.
Yeah.
Your directors, your soundmen, your PAs, you're from the bottom to the top.
Yeah.
Make sure that everybody is also talented. Because when they're talented, it exposes the drive that they have.
Hmm.
You know, so great storytelling, be compelling,
Yeah.
and you want to have great talent in front of the screen and behind the screen. Those are my three things of being a successful filmmaker.
Okay. And so on the flip side, so let's switch it up. On the flip side, so what would make a bad film? What would make a film bad for you, in your opinion? Three things.
uh, Bad acting, bad director, and bad script.
Simple, short to the point. Those three
so,
things.
so, you know, yes, you know how you have some of those films that are like you can't figure out why it was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the reason why you can't figure out why it was so good is because everything meshed together.
Yeah.
That's why the film was so excellent. The cinematography, the director, the acting, the writer, everything met
Yeah.
at the same time and space on the same synchronization.
Yeah.
That's what makes it great.
Yeah.
And on the flip side of that, what makes a film bad, of course, is that you be like, man, these actors suck.
Right.
You'd be like, who wrote this?
Yeah.
Who directed
Who
this?
directed this?
Listen, even for myself,
Right.
I've had to learn some things, you
Yeah.
know. But fortunately for me, I had people that would pull me to the side and
Right.
said, this is what you did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I listened.
Hmm.
And I wasn't afraid to take my medicine.
Right.
And I took it. So that would be my answer to the three that what makes a bad film,
Okay.
you know?
Yes. And so, switching topics, there's a lot going on in our culture today. One of the major things is the pandemic, obviously, COVID-19. What encouragement is there to give people who are going through in light of what's going on with COVID-19 right now?
COVID-19. Um, I would say what I would just tell you what I've been doing. What I've been
Okay.
doing. You know, and what I've been doing is it's building.
Yes.
You know, like I've been being very, very constructive with my time.
Yes.
And with that building, I had a chance to go in and read more, you
Yes.
know, and it has been like just the information that I've been receiving in this time
Hmm.
has prepared me for when I come out of this to have more courage on what I want to do and where I want to be. So outside of reading, I've been meditating
Yes.
and I've been just kind of observing.
Okay.
You know, not really putting myself in the forefront, but taking this time just to research myself and figuring out how I could be better and what I could do better. That's what I think that if you have the chance for that type of peace, then try to reach that type of peace within yourself first. That's what that's what I've been doing. I can't really say what people should be doing because I don't know their situation.
True.
But I think that if they meditate, they read, just build yourself with positive energy. You're gonna come out of this looking at this thing positively, and not in a negative way. Right. And that's what I wish that people would do that.
Yeah. My Kindle is full, okay? I've been doing
Yes.
My Kindle is full. So I can definitely relate to what you're saying as far as meditation and reading and preparing for the next level. So I think that this is what this time is for, creating opportunities for yourself to build in the future. Like you said, building. That's what this time is for.
Yes.
For sure. And so in what ways, in the past or currently, have you given back to the community?
Well, one thing I do is I mentor a lot.
Okay.
I've been working on this program that I'm putting together, with my logos on my shirt right here. It's basically about if you want to shoot something, pick up a camera and not a gun. And so I go into schools, I go into foster care, and I take people with me that might come, like an exhibit, like a big boy from the radio stations out here in Los Angeles and other places that, they connect with me because they feel the passion that I have for giving back at the same time.
Yeah.
So I'm most definitely into each one, teach one.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
For sure. So, unfortunately, we have come to the end of this week's episode of Midweek Motivation. So we just have 2 questions left. The second to last question being, what words would you like to leave for this special episode of Midweek Motivation?
I would say be encouraged.
Yeah.
I would say be brilliant.
Yeah.
I got this thing called Billionaire. It's not being a billionaire. It's about basically having all the light and the ideas of being brilliant. And with one of those ideas, it will help you form a life that you will love.
Yeah.
So be brilliant at what you do. Be a billionaire. Don't be a billionaire. Yeah. Don't be a millionaire. Be a billionaire. Because if you got a brilliant ideas, then you got a billion chances of winning.
Yes.
So be a billionaire at this. And also, this is hard for me to say, but it's true.
Okay.
Let your creativity be your wealth. Because if you're doing something that you love to do, and that's how I started my own business, because I bought my first camera by myself.
Yeah.
I was a production assistant at BET, and I bought my first camera by myself. And I started telling stories from there. So that's what I mean by your creativity is your wealth.
Yeah.
And it also allowed me to learn business and be a businessman, because I have my own LLC. I have my own company.
Right.
I do hire younger people, younger than me, that I write checks to, that I pay to come work with me.
Yeah.
So it's like what it's a marathon, and it's like what Nipsey said. Yeah. You know, you have to believe in yourself.
True.
So let your, like what you're doing.
Yes.
Let your creativity be your wealth.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be, you see that smile that you have on your face? It's gonna be eternally embedded.
Thank you. And thank you so much for this interview, for sharing your thoughts, for sharing your experiences, for sharing your advice. I want to take a moment to thank you from me to you, Invest LLC to you, for sharing this moment. And so how can we follow you on social media, and how can we support what you do?
Okay. So I want to say that first, let me tell you a little bit about where I come from and what I have done, though, too, as well. So, and at the same time, like I started off as a PA, production assistant for Kenan. And from there, my travels took me through Inside Edition, took me through MTV, took me through BET. It took me through all these places. And because I took that one step of believing in myself and wanting to learn, and I bought a camera, and I took my seminars, I did the classes, and I studied a lot because it takes a lot of studying.
True.
It allowed me to travel around the world and continue to travel around the world.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've worked with people from Snoop to Kevin Hart to a lot of influential people, right? And so we got great stories that are coming. We got great stories. I have a story with documentary series with Guy Torrey.
Wow.
And he's a comedian.
Yeah.
And it's basically about how comedy helped us get through the 92 LA riots. So I mean, it is powerful.
Wow.
It is very impactful. So we have a lot of things going on. So, and I want people just to stay in tune, stay tapped in with me, because this past, which is crazy, we just did the Pan African Film Festival here in Los Angeles in February, and right before the pandemic hit.
Right. Yeah.
And I had a couple of films in there, and one of my films was it was basically a re-edit of a film that a documentary that I had already done called Fantasy.
Okay.
Fantasy, basically about, does hip hop help our community or does it make it worse? So I had all of these people in it, from Ice Cube to Snoop to Exhibit and all these other people, and a young Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
So I want everybody to stay tapped in and to see where I'm going with this marathon that I'm going to continue. So where you can find me is, I'm gonna make it just short and sweet. You can find me on Instagram at More Bishop. That would be the best way to contact me, follow me, and basically see what's going on with Bishop Moore.
Yeah. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, again, I want to thank you so much for this interview. This has been awesome, but unfortunately, this is the end. So tune in next week. We have new episodes, new interviews. Before you tune in next week, tonight, we have Tyrone Pearsall, who's a musician and a teacher, and he's going to talk all about it. So thank you so much for this interview. Now, we are out.